Hello, fellow residents of Tamriel. It is the Beeve, and it's been a while. I took a little hiatus from the game, played a little bit of Warzone, but I am back now, back in my guild, and once again trying to help some guild mates out in showing them what's coming along in the game and how to, gears, how to rotate properly, gear sets, abilities you should be using, champion points, things like that. So, gonna get back on this public test server and start testing things. Right now on the public test server, they are doing the Update 33, the Ascending Tides DLC that is coming for PC and console here soon. And just wanted to jump on here and start making some builds and showing some people what's going to be going on. In the past, we have focused a little bit more on kind of like beginner stuff, things that are easily obtained. Now we are going more into, what's out there that is going to be the heaviest hitting things. Every DPS I run across wants to be able to do as much damage as possible. I mean, that's the mindset of a DPS. So we're going to start making some videos that show that, and we're going to start off with this Magica Sorcerer. This is a 2-pet build. Real quick, I'm not going to go over what everything does. I'm just going to tell you what sets I'm wearing. If you want to, if you don't already know them, if you're not familiar with them, you can always look them up. It only takes a couple seconds. So, first and foremost, we are using the Maelstrom's Perfected Inferno Staff from the Maelstrom Arena. We are using the Kinra's Inferno Staff, Kinra's Jewelry. This is a medium armor set that is found in the Black Drake Villa. And this, for the most part right now, is meta. This is helping people create a lot of damage, which you'll see in the parts that I'm going to be doing here. But my Inferno Staff is precise with flame damage enchantment. The jewelry are all in bloodthirsty with spell damage enchantments. I am using the Mania set out of the Rock Grove trial. This is the perfected version. If you don't have the perfected version, the only thing you're missing out on is this extra 5th line of the perfected items, which adds 129 weapon and spell damage. So it's not gonna break the bank, so to speak, if you don't have the perfected version. There are other sets that work very well with this also. The Sioria, perfected or not, the False Gods, perfected or not. These are sets that'll work with them. Maybe not hit as high as what this does. The Sioria probably will, maybe even a little bit higher. But then there, you have that, stuck in one spot, standing in that boon standing in that fire ring to keep your damage bonus up. So none of that with this set right here. None of that with False Gods. So you can pick and choose how you like. All of my body pieces are in Divines with the Maximum Magica trait. Maximum Magica enchantment. And I am using the Zon head and shoulders. I got a heavy head, medium shoulders for my Undaunted passive. Both of those, once again, are in Divines as well. This is a monster helm found in the Scalecaller Peak. Most people are very familiar with this. It has been it's been a fan favorite for a long time, so to speak. Go to our character sheet real quick. 32,000 maximum Magica with 1,400 recovery, 20,000 maximum health, almost 4 grand in spell damage, 42% critical rating. That gets up to about 60 with your buffs. 5395 penetration, 1510 spell resistance, 11,380 physical resistance. All my points in Magica. I am using the Ghastly Eyeball for max Magica and Magica recovery, because this is a rotation that takes a lot to sustain. There are other foods that you could use with this as well. You just might have a little bit of sustain issues. The Clockwork Citrus Fillet the Witch Mother's Potent Brew are both, max health, max Magica, and, Magica recovery foods. They're the max stats just aren't as high, and the recovery isn't as high as well. But if you can get away with using it, then get away with using it if you want that extra health. I am using the Thief Mundus Stone. Since everything is in Divines, I'm getting another 2180 on my weapon and spell critical rating. Skills that I am using the Unstable Wall of Fire. I am using the Barbed Trap. The reason I'm using Barbed Trap and not Channel Acceleration is because I'm going to be close in range to begin with because of my Zaun Helm. If I find myself in a fight where I can't be close, then I can always trade out this Barbed Trap for the Channeled Acceleration from the Sigic Order line and the Jaldor's Nightmare Mask out of Unhallowed Grave. So those are different options if you want to be at range and you don't want to be so close to what you're fighting. So, food for thought. I do have my Volatile Familiar and my Twilight Tormentor. This Tormentor, never going to activate this thing. This is just out there for the damage it does, which does pretty good damage just being out there hitting on its own. I have Crystal Fragments on this front bar. I don't use this on this front bar. This is just so I get the possibility of this Crystal Fragment to proc, making the next one instant and dealing 66% more damage and costing less Magica. Plus, when you use it, the cost of your next ability within 3 seconds is 10% less as well. So it's nice for sustain. This is a utility slot. If you don't want to have this here, you can put like a shield here or something like that. Anything you can think of. I mean, it's completely up to you. I just have this here for the extra chance on it proccing that Crystal Fragment, so that when I bar swap, it's the first thing I can hit them with. I do have my Greater Storm Atronach. This Greater Storm Atronach is our most damaging single target ultimate as a sorcerer. In boss fights, this is going to be our go-to because it's going to provide the most damage for us. On the front bar, on the Kinroz bar where my Kinroz is active, I have Elemental Weapon. This is my main spammable. I have Daedric Prey. This is going to buff the damage that my Volatile Familiar and my Tormentor do. I have my Crystal Fragments here. This is the bar that I'm going to be proccing these on and hitting them from as often as possible. Both my pets obviously on my back bar. And then I am going with a Shooting Star ultimate here. This is the ultimate from the Mage Guild line. Mainly because this is our Trash Mob ultimate. This is our area of effect. Does a huge bit of damage. It does 15,000 damage on impact, knocking things back and stunning them. After impact, it sticks around and burns the ground for another 13 seconds. And for every enemy you hit with it, you get 12 ultimates. So you can help rebuild your ultimate back really quickly with this ultimate if you're clearing trash mobs with them. Another reason to have this on here is the Mages Guild passive of giving you extra max Magica when this is slotted. So having this slotted is giving me a little extra max Magica, which is going to be good for my damage output as well. Rotation is somewhat dynamic. It is Unstable Wall of Fire, it is Barbed Trap, and then I tend to just bar swap right then. Because this Kinroz has this Kinroz bar, there's the chance that it'll fall off if you take too long on this front bar. Like once you get that Kinroz up and you get that red aura, that red fire circle in that 12-meter radius around you, that stays active for 5 seconds, and as long as you hit a light attack, it will refresh. But when you bar swap to your Maelstrom bar, you're not getting that refresh. So you want to be kind of quick with that bar swap so that that doesn't fall off. So once again, starting over. Unstable wall, barbed trap. I like the bar swap then. If my ultimate is available, that's when I'm going to throw my ultimate. If it's not available, it's going to be a bar swap after the barbed trap. When I move to my Kinra's bar here, if Crystal Fragments is procced, that's the first thing I'm going to lead with. Then I'm going to activate my pet. Then I'm going to activate my Daedric Prey. And then I'm going to spam Elemental Weapon. Anytime that I hit any of these abilities on this Kinra's bar and my Crystal Fragments procs, I am going to use it. Getting the timing down on this rotation can be a little bit hard. One of the things that is nice is making sure that you keep up. You want to make sure you keep up your unstable wall, because this is what helps your Maelstrom weapon do the extra damage from your light and heavy attacks. See how it exploded right there? That's a good sign right there. If I'm not paying attention to my abilities, if I've extended it too long and I see that explosion, I know it's time to bar swap and start over. So that's my visual cue if I'm not paying good enough attention. So it's something you could use for your own visual cue as well. I have all of my major passives filled in on, my class lines, my destruction staff, my medicinal use for the 100% uptime on my potions. Mages Guild passes are filled. Fighters Guild passes are filled. My light armor passives are filled. Just to name what the things that need to be done. I don't want to take up too much of your time here. I'm trying to make this as quick as possible. All right, so champion tree. The crafting tree, you can kind of do this how you like for the most part, but I do suggest having treasure hunter slotted for better items in your from chests. Steadfast enchantments to keep your enchantments from keep your weapon enchantments from needing charge too often. Rationer slotted and filled out and slotted for 30 minutes more time on all food and drink that you eat that increases your character stats. I use the liquid efficiency for a 10% chance that when you use a potion or poison it doesn't consume it. So that's nice. That's every now and again you get a free potion or poison. I like the Steed's Blessing as well, having this slotted, filled out and slotted, increasing my out of combat movement speed. When it's fully filled out, it's 20% movement speed. So, running room to room in dungeons or trials, I'm moving a little bit quicker, and that's nice for like the speed runs and on the challenger stuff and whatnot for dungeons and trials. Just a little added speed boost. In my warfare tree, I have my quick recovery, hardy, elemental aegis, and preparation all filled out. I have my Eldritch Insight all filled out. I have my Timeless Discipline. This isn't a necessity, but having a little bit extra stamina always helps. I have my Precision filled out. I have my Backstabber filled out and slotted. I have my Fighting Finesse filled out and slotted. I have my Deadly Aim and my Master at Arms filled out and slotted. These are the Deadly Aim and the Master at Arms is what buffs my elemental weapon, my crystal fragments, the damage my bird does, the damage my volatile familiar does. So those are we're buffing all those major things with these two abilities. in my extended might, I have my piercing. I have everything in here except weapons expert filled out, because weapons expert has to be slotted. But you definitely want to have your piercing filled out, your flawless ritual, and your war mage. The battle mastery and the mighty is not a necessity, but if you have the extra points and you have nowhere else to put them, go ahead and fill them in. If you're in a fight where you can't get behind the boss, I think Sunspire is one of those. I'm not sure if you can get a flanking bonus on the Sunspire dragons or not, to be honest with you. But if you're in a fight where you're not able to flank and get this extra 15% critical damage, you can always trade that out for, like Thaumaturge for your damage over time. Or area effect, or you could throw on like this Wrathful Strikes if you wanted to. But you only if you can't get behind the boss or flank the boss. Red Tree, I have Rejuvenations filled out and slotted, extra Magica health and stamina recovery, Fortified for extra armor filled out and slotted, and Boundless Vitality filled out and slotted for 1400 extra maximum health. Tumbling, you can tumble, you can dodge roll. I got 50 in my Mystic Tenacity. Hero's Vigor, extra 560 health. This Piercing Gaze isn't that big of a deal unless you're doing PvP. I just have that filled in so I can get this Tempered Soul where I return to life with 10% more resources. I have my Siphoning Spells. This restores Magica, 300 Magica per stage whenever I kill an enemy, so I get 1500 Magica back for every enemy killed. So it's a nice recovery tool. I have this one filled out and slotted. There's others down here you can fill out and slot for, blocking, bracing, movement speed while blocking. We're not going to really get into all that. But those are the champion points that I have allocated there. So what I want to go ahead and do now is I'm going to go ahead and get my bird out of the dang way, because they're terrible. They get in the way so much, it's unreal. But I'm going to go ahead and do this parse for you, let you see how much damage it can do, and we'll be back to talk about it in a second. So if you don't want to sit here for the whole thing, you can gladly just fast forward until the end, but this will take me a minute here. And there you have it, 94,588. I've had this hit 97 before. It normally hits 95. You notice there I messed up in the rotation there. I didn't hit a pot when it was available. I thought I did. I hit the button to hit it, but it just didn't register that it did. So I went without a pot up for a few, I don't know how long, honestly, for maybe 10-15 seconds. And it did it did have me struggling a tad little bit for Magica at that point. But got through it, never had to heavy attack, kept things up. If I'd have hit that pot on time like I wanted to, it wouldn't even have gotten that close, and I probably would have had a little bit higher damage output as well. But nobody's going to kick you out of bed for 95k. You know what I mean? Like, that's a ton of damage right there. It is a dynamic rotation. It can be a little bit difficult to get used to, but once you do, it smacks just like that. I don't want to take up any more of your time, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you stayed to the end of the video, I appreciate it. If you can give me a like and on the video and give me a follow, that would be or subscribe, that would be great. If not, that's fine as well. No big deal. But going to be doing a lot more of these videos for this upcoming DLC, so stay tuned. But until next time, guys, thank you very much, and happy adventuring.